Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hat in Time. We need to address the elephant in the room. For the past three 45-minute plus hour, 45-minute long episodes, there's been no microphone audio. So, what happened, and I think this might be indicative of a bigger issue of a Hat in Time just not really liking my recording software, and maybe my recording software interacting with it is what's causing it to even lock up and lag when it's loading into a new level. But my OBS, Open Broadcast software, just decided to stop listening to my microphone. In the 5+ years of me recording, maybe something similar has happened once. But this is very, very odd. And right now in the setup, I actually do see that volume bar, but I certainly haven't been trained to look at it. So I was just focusing on the game, talking, babbling away, and it didn't even occur to me that that bar was not moving or going up at all. So I'll kind of try and remember what I said, but I've slept since then. There's definitely some stuff I want to mention. We left ourselves here, and I was gonna go check out the Twilight Bell and see if there actually is something that can be collected here or that needs to be done. Which I'm not sure. One of the things I talked about that I'm sure didn't get recorded, and I'm sure some people will say that those 3 episodes were my best episodes ever, but you really don't have much of a fair use argument you can make as far as if you are trying to play a game with no commentary. Like, you're not doing anything transformative, you're not criticizing the game, you're not doing anything really at all other than just showing other people you playing somebody else's game, which you might try to make the argument is transformative, but I'm not sure anyone is going to actually buy that one. It would be a pretty broad ruling if it turned out that anybody who was playing any interactive media was creating such a unique experience that the original creators of a interactive media wouldn't have a bigger claim to a copyright there. One of the things I wanted to mention was while I have been moaning, and maybe you didn't hear much of that, actually, about the lack of 3D Super Mario 64 style games on Steam and PC in particular, there has been a decent number of, well, there is something up here, so we should go this way. The camera is moving pretty awkwardly. Still not really sure what these plants are supposed to do. And it probably is the wrong choice that the magnet sucks in the health pieces. But whatever. Let's see, do I have the parachute umbrella? No, I don't. We got instead of well thought out 3D platforming experiences. Oh man, I hope that this is pointing to something way over there and not something that I missed on this platform. I don't know if I'm really going to try and get all 100% of everything in this game though. There's frankly a lot of stickers, a lot of things in general, and I'm not sure I really want to. Jeez. Ooh. Let's just get a look of what this is gonna look like. Well, that is something. It looks like it would be a little too hard to get on this plant alone. So that almost feels like that's a safety move. I mean, particularly when that's blocking. So we're gonna have to try this several times and see if we can get higher. Let's see. Alright, well, colored me confused. Like, when the bell goes off, it's a little too high. And see, this is my concern, is that there feels like there may just be a like increase your jump ability that I just don't have. Yeah, so I think what we would best do is probably just take this out of here, and I think probably leave this at level. Let's see if there's a way to get up higher, move around. Yeah, there's some collectible way over there in the fire section that I probably walked right by and couldn't collect because it was just too difficult. And we're running into that same problem over and over again of just things being too difficult. So let's go back. Still haven't exited out of the game or anything, so if this load section did something different, that would be kind of weird. Alright, so I was trying to say before, instead of 3D platformers, you get a lot of Super Meat Boy-esque frustration 2D platformers. They miss the whole idea of adventure. Like, I've really never seen one that really has you do anything other than jump around and platform. You have some like Celeste that aren't particularly as bad as Jeez, maybe there's something on the other side of this wall and we don't know what to do with these plants yet. But then you also have a lot like Super Meat Boy, which are just very good games, I think. Oh, this is 35, so this opens up Chapter 5. Alright, so it's kind of funny that you can potentially finish the game and not even do that. So, yeah, just generally speaking, it's a lot easier to make a frustration 2D platformer, or just a simplistic 2D platformer instead of a 3D platformer like Super Mario Bros. I also have been just watching a lot of speedruns of Super Mario 64, and there desperately needs to be a middle ground between this game where it takes 45 minutes to get a single timepiece and Mario where it takes maybe 5 minutes to get a single timepiece. I will say Mario 64, because you have every single specific star had a hint that showed up in the load screen as you're going into those worlds. That made it a lot easier to figure out what you were supposed to be doing, where some of the sections in these games have been pretty bad. we're gonna do the finale here. But a 30-minute mark, 20 to 30-minute mark is what I'd like to see. And I would like to have seen a lot more chapters equaling more worlds in this game. Honestly, even after, like, Chapter 5, I'm fairly certain, is the last piece of content they intended for this game to have. And then the DLC just adds more content. And I don't really think adding more worlds was the right move after the game had been finished. I think rethinking how long it takes to get every single goal in each individual world needed to be rethought. So I guess we're going to get our soul back, but this is probably going to be a boss fight. If it's like the other finale in Chapter 2, we're going to get a timepiece, and then maybe have to do a longer mission for that. We unlocked this badge, which I'm hoping in boss fights will make them potentially a third as difficult. Maybe that will happen, maybe it won't. I like that the game has decided here to not make me jump through a bunch of hoops, and is just putting me right at the timepiece. Of course, storyline wise, it would make every bit of sense if we got trapped by the devil creature, which they never really call him a devil, but the DLC is called The Deal with the Devil, so we have to kind of assume that to be the case. I don't think I can get any further that way. The contracts were DLC, so it makes me kind of wonder if maybe this world was just a free roam world with no missions in it at all. I'm not sure if any of the game actually had any missions in it until very late in development.
Remember how the old contractor had his head pop off? That wasn't a coincidence. It popped off the moment he stopped being useful to me. And guess who else just became obsolete? That's right. You.
See, if this was supposed to be a bad guy and look like a bad guy, why does he look like a cartoony jack-o'-lantern character from a weird anime?
That possessed outhouse isn't bothering me anymore, and all those contracts of yours are tidied away. I don't need you around.
I feel like in the main game without the DLC, you probably only had one contract or maybe no contracts.
You didn't think I was gonna let you keep all these time pieces, did you? They fell in my forest, kid. They belong to me.
He put a hat on for, I guess, maybe some weird reason he stole your hat and put it on?
Time you saw what I'm really capable of, kid. Say goodbye to that little head of yours.
Do I keep all of my timepieces in my hat? That would have been something nice if they had established that. I don't have any of my badges, so the jerk stole my hat pieces.
Probably waiting for me to turn blue, aren't you? Sorry, kiddo. Blue doesn't suit me. And I guess that makes me invincible, huh? That's too bad.
So I wonder if I am supposed to just die here. Let's try 1,000. Too many, let's try just one. Wait, hold on. That one should... Come on, give it a chance. You're getting kind of rude, he says. Now they're making fun of me. A lot of these fights have had the problem of being kind of easy and then kind of hard. There we go. So now he's got blue paint on him, so maybe now he's vulnerable.
Did you just color me blue with my own attack? This can't count, right? Surely this doesn't count.
So it's breaking the third wall.
That does it. Time to die!
I walked right into a trap, and that means we have a decent chance here in which I'll take damage before I survive. Yeah, and so this probably is going to reset me at some point, and hopefully not just reset me at the full battle. Oh. Let's just hit A to skip. No, but it's reset me at the full battle. Every single boss fight I've tried to do has taken at least 2 attempts. They're too long, they're kind of easy at the beginning, and then they get super hard later. These guys won't do anything. Right. There we go. And that skips the cutscene. Oh. And then the indicator, I assume the indicator is is always going to help me. But I am really not in practice to be taking on this boss fight. And unless the game is just going to get easier, the random assortment of attacks he can do is always too high. It would have been an easy production manager's job to simply have made the decision to say, we're going to take half of the attacks and put them on sub-bosses instead of the main bosses. We're going to ensure that this is a 3-hit Mario style attack and not a not what feels like a fight where I have to do 5, 6 to 10 attacks at once. I got a little bit of help there. We need to do a dash. And that got me some health back. So you kind of know that the game is cheating in my favor, somewhat. Like, it has really no interest in me attempting this multiple times either. Alright. Alright, he's over there. I guess that's where I'm supposed to go. And this is either a checkpoint, or this is going to be the end of the boss fight, and then maybe we'll have another boss fight.
Please.
Or a trick. Or a trap. It also seems silly to have a boss fight and then make us do another level and didn't have another boss fight.
Timepieces landed in my forest. They are my property.
So we can say yes or no, and I don't think it's gonna matter.
So, let's make a deal, young lady. You get out of my forest, and we never see you again. How's that sound for a deal? Not a fan. Too bad. You don't make the calls here. Here,
Okay.
I'll even make it easier for you.
So please take all your junk and leave.
Now, all that's left is for you to sign it.
So the contract is get out, just get out. The following parts of the force will be available and none of it get out. Please take all your junk and leave. And your options are to sign the contract or not sign the contract. And I think you have to just sign the contract. But she only signed stay and have fun. Be nice. All of it. Being my best friend forever.
You understand that's not how contracts work, right?
Sorta kinda is. This is great characterization of Hat Girl. Unfortunately, we just don't have enough of that early enough, and like I still don't really know what she's doing. It seems like she is just this childish character who is mostly an agent of chaos. She kind of just does things without really any reasoning. So we don't even really know if she wants to get the timepieces back and go home particularly much. Like this in particular seems to indicate she doesn't care about getting the timepieces that much, and she'd rather just goof around with this ghost.
I'm giving you a chance to scram, kid. There's no catches or clauses this time.
It would be nicer if we knew more about her. Maybe there should be some little bits of dialogue to read, and I know that her journal, her secret area, does have some more description of things from her perspective, but it's too difficult to get to that secret area on the ship and read her journal every single level. So I'm skipping most of that. And there definitely should be more characterization at the beginning of it.
What if I give you your soul back? Will that make you leave?
Yeah, me having or not having a soul really didn't seem to affect any of the rest of the game. You got your soul back. You feel relieved, energized, and just the usual amount of empty.
Yes? No? No? Are you there? Why aren't you saying anything?
I don't think I can say anything with the left stick click. The other thing is there definitely have been parts in this level where you've just burnt people trapped in paintings to open up more areas. So in some weird ways, she's kind of shown herself to be more evil than good, even slightly.
You're quite the character, aren't you? And a tough negotiator.
Yeah, I don't think the silent protagonist works for Hat Girl. I mean, you don't want to override her. You don't want to make her obnoxious. You don't want to turn her into like a Barbie character, or just somebody who's talking nonstop. But she needs a little bit of dialogue. You need to get to that Mario level in like Mario Odyssey. Like I'm sure Mario every now and then says some kind of word, or he emotes on his face in some way. Perhaps part of the problem is that half of these shots are from the back of her, head, so we don't even see her reactions.
Sweeten the deal for you.
She could be silent and more just miming reactions.
Here, take my last timepiece. If I continue to see you around my forest after this, I'll be very disappointed.
But I'll have to come back, of course, and... I'll have to come back. Let's see. I can't go any further. So I am somewhere on the map where there are collectibles, but it's not going to let me see any of it. Now the big question will be, are we going to have to go back and get one more timepiece, or was that only for chapter 2 that something like that happened? I mean, that wasn't particularly that long as far as the level is concerned. And it seems like after you beat a level, you probably do get something new. These candles, knock these over, you would burn down the ship very quickly. Right. So much for my thought of this beam attack being useful in a boss fight. Maybe in other boss fights.
Nice place you got here, kiddo. What's up? Still alive and well, I see. What a shame. How about we fix that with a little deal? Tell you what, you do some fresh new contracts for me, and I'll reward you handsomely. If you survive, that is.
So maybe this is the
I've
DLC.
got this little map for you. You'll notice I've marked just one contract on it for now. You'll have to complete it before you unlock the rest. Checks and balances, you know. And be careful, kid. These aren't your average everyday contracts. These are advanced contracts. We wouldn't want you to die on the job, right?
Okay. So there's 114 of these contracts, apparently. And you can see some of them are in Deadbird Studios, some are in the forest, some are in the Avery flying area, and some are in Mafia Town, and one seems to be in this central area, which it seems like it is in the middle of the map, I guess. So this is that first level to turn off all the lava faucets. Let's see over here if there's anything more to do. I would still need to do this time rift. I'd still need to do this time rift. So I don't know if that DLC with the extra contracts really is something I want to do. 114 more collectibles sounds maybe interesting, but it also sounds like they're probably challenges that just are gonna have us do the same thing over and over again. Let's roll new remix. I'm gonna claim this because I don't think I've gotten any remix. Alright, so now I have more sound options. So it is probably well past due that I go and try and finish this level. The only like transition ability I can imagine I'm gonna get is a higher jump. And see, I think the contract in particular is going to require me, the new contract from the DLC, I think is going to require me to do this part of the main game first. And maybe the contracts, the advanced contracts, will help point me in different directions to try to do more in the game in general. In all fairness, like, seeing how small this the other levels kind of are, or at least not as well thought out or well designed, you could have probably turned Mafia Town into a collection of islands, more spread out, or 2 or 3 different locations in general. Like, it would be easy enough to have a Mafia Town downtown and uptown and midtown. Alright. So, we can kind of do what we need to do fairly easily, I think. If I can figure out how I'm supposed to... Am I supposed to just land on these? Or... Alright, well, I'm about to die immediately. I'm being charred to death. Alright. My beam attack probably would hit these guys. And so that might play more of a role than it would have seemed necessary. Why are these guys flying towards me? Alright. I aim this direction. That's not what I wanted to do. I did not. Definitely did not want to swing. Can I jump and shoot? No. So what's the trick here? I mean, like, get up here. Die. Die on the first attempt. Is there something I can do? And I can't even skip through this. Alright. What do we've got? We've got a time stop hat. Would that possibly help in any way? I don't see how. And I don't think I've just picked the most difficult faucet to go to either. Let's see. Would this mask in any way affect the lava? I don't think so. I mean, sure, an ice ability probably won't directly hurt me.
Have you come to make another purchase?
Let's see, what else do we have? I might as well buy this just to see if some other ability. Honestly, I don't think there are too many more things to collect. Ah, that no bonk badge actually probably would be helpful. Alright. I'm supposed to be able to hit this somehow. And there went my beam ability. So let's see if this works. Alright, checkpoint. So the beam attack will work. That's helpful. Somewhat. But it still puts you in a weird position where you're going to have to find an angle in which you can shoot. And I am not sure you're going to be given a clear angle as often as I would like to be given a clear angle. So this really is probably going to be the epitome of bad level design. Like, this might be the absolute worst example of it. And if there is something, some ability or something that I just don't have that would make this really easy, that's going to be really frustrating. For sure. Alright. Do I think I can get up here? Yes, I can get up there. The question is, can I get down? Alright. See if we can. I'm trying to get on the ledge, which probably would be a little bit easier there. There's a collectible up here. So I want to get it so I don't have to come back here. And this would be another perfect example of if you could do a Mario 64 style backflip, you would do so much better. Or a wall kick, or any of the many abilities that Mario had in Mario 64 and yet are kind of missing here. It almost makes a good argument to for if you were going to make a Hat in Time 2, to have Hat Girl grow up and be a little bit older in the next game, so she would have more of an ability. Right. That doesn't work. Right. Guess as long as we're getting the checkpoints, it kind of doesn't matter. But this is just a nightmare scenario, really. And we've seen this before with finding the golden vault things. Those two were not really things I would have recommended to. And I missed one. And that probably would have opened a new thing up. I don't know if it fixes the tailor shop or if it does something else. We could take a look and see where the collectibles are pointing. But I'm not really willing to focus on the collectibles at all in this. This just feels like it's asking too much at this point. And we're still getting a lot of feeling that Mafia Town could have been at one point the only level they intended to create. That would have made some sense. Alright. I think I kind of understand what they want me to do. Let's see if we can climb this. Right. If I can just get it to fire in the right direction. I don't know if this beam is firing far enough or if it's not hitting it because I'm just too far away. Yeah, it seems like I'm just not far. I'm just too far away. Right. If I could get on this ledge. Well, that's not gonna help. Alright. So. Like, you need the beam even if you're standing at this point on that, because otherwise I would have had to jump up and swing and attack, and that wouldn't have worked anyways. So, as far as I can tell, without the beam attack, you have zero chance of actually doing this level, and yet the game didn't really mention that. It very much implied you had everything you needed, and I'm sure some expert at this game could do it, but I don't think an average player could. Right. So I think probably would be ideal to run over and do the other level over here first. Let's see where this flings us. Alright. And that is going to have me climbing back upward. Where is it? Right, the spigot is right there. So yeah, it seems unlikely. It seems like the game is telling you need to bounce off somebody. Let's see if we can jump on this guy. Can we land on this guy and not die? No, doesn't seem like we can. Yeah, this is not good. I don't know how you put it any other way. Maybe, like, if this was a Mario 64 thing, you would have had exactly one lava spit shooting out lava, and this would have been a very easy level, because all you would have had to do is climb to the top of a high place and shoot that one lava faucet. Alright, one more time. You have to get pretty much in this corner, because if you're not in the corner, you're not close enough, it looks like. And you have to hit it at the right angle, which is pretty random. There's something about, like, your last move before you hold the X button determines the way you're gonna fire, but it's not easy to control by any means. And see, if I was to jump here, yeah, I was gonna jump in the lava just to see if that was maybe some kind of diving animation that would give me an achievement. I haven't looked at any of the achievements, but looking at the Deal with the Devil contracts and having 114 of those to do does imply to me that there probably is an unreasonable number, or either number of achievements or level of difficulty on the achievements that, like, isn't worth the effort. We are crossing a point here where, if I am not careful, I will start going from saying this is an alright attempt or first attempt at a Mario 64 game clone, but I might start feeling more like it is a kind of downright bad game if I have to put a lot more effort into it just to feel satisfied in what I've accomplished. And sure, if I did my best to not think nostalgically about Mario 64, I would imagine that there probably were some levels of Mario 64 also that were incredibly frustrating and did probably completely drive me up the wall, but I can't look at it that way too much. It's not even worth getting close because you don't want to fall. And blowing up these still don't really make sense. It's far too slow to blow them up to get 3 or 4 collectibles. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit better with the controls. Warming up, no pun intended. I'm still not sure if they are ever going to actually let me into the center of the mountain. It doesn't right now look like there is too much there anyways. Or at least last time I flew through the area. It'll be interesting if it turns out we don't get a finale in this level. We're also missing Chapter 5 still. This will be easy enough to, as long as these guys decide not to kill me. Let's get rid of these guys. All I really need to do is stand on this, aim in that general direction, and fire. There we go. And so the water, I guess it might have been kind of funny to fly through the lava. Let's see. But I guess we can't do that now. And there's still plenty of lava going around. They want me to go back to the very top of the level. This was a part of the level that was going to potentially...
Keep eye out for tunnel.
Yeah, that tunnel I think will unlock something at some point, maybe. Alright. Alright. See how this takes, where this takes us. It's not great, but I think we can use it to get further. I guess the game is showing that I should be going in that general direction towards that teapot. This is another great example of where Mario 64 did it right by simply giving you a star, just having it appear above your head once you've accomplished a task. So if there was like only 3 faucets in this level, and after you turn the 3rd faucet you got a timepiece, that would have been so much better. Hat Kid, go away. Alright, well, it seems like they want to throw a party for me. I've got a fish and hi. I have a bunch of food. I guess that's that. We'll take the timepiece and be kind of done with it. Rare sticker has appeared on the spaceship. Go find it. That should be easy enough to find. I feel like the rare stickers are all added by the Nyakuza Metro, which is a combination of the Japanese phrase for what they think cats make as a sound as nyan, and kuza as in Yakuza. Those are new people. I wasn't really expecting them. Right. So somewhere around here is some kind of rare sticker. Feels like the food may have gotten better organized in that refrigerator.
You know, I kinda
We haven't talked
imagine
this.
the alien stove to be a bit more technologically advanced.
Yeah, this cat character is such a nothing character. Literally showed up in one level and we've done absolutely nothing with him. Alright. Let's look at this first. Alright. So a new time rift has been detected and Act 5 has unlocked. Let's see what that cheating the race. Win legitimately. Perspiration, no chance. So this feels like this is probably a race that I would have to cheat via using the time freeze mechanics and maybe some of the other mechanics. Let's see. Rare sticker is in Mafia Town also. And this indicator doesn't seem like it wants to point anywhere towards where the sticker might be. It does seem like it's just And I guess in theory I could probably trigger some in-game stretch. Let's see, is there anything I can do with that? No. Like there probably is some. I could just go there and start a in-game of some sort, but it probably wouldn't be a very good outcome. It'd probably be the bad ending. There's just so many places. So many places a sticker could be hiding. Let's go talk to these guys.
Hey there, we're the Express Band, just a bunch of owls that got together to play music while riding the conductor's Owl Express. Is it okay if we practice here? In exchange, if you have any song requests, we'll be happy to play whatever you have in mind. Want to swap out some of the music you hear in the different chapters? Or want to hear us practice?
Alright, so I can do that remix. And so this is just a remix of music. It seems like it's gonna be a thing. Is there really a reason that I would need to do this chapter anymore? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of time rifts that I probably need to do. Yeah, we're getting to a position where it may actually be close to impossible to avoid anymore. Like my only choice might come down to either I'm gonna do a bunch of time rifts and run around in levels and spend a lot of effort to 100% this, or I'm just gonna call it quits and try and end the game at about 30 time pieces instead of 40. Alright, I see the sticker. All these stickers do are make emotes. We can do all of these. What's Death Wish? This looks new. Oh, this is the map. Right. Don't worry about doing every task on your contract at the same time. You can come back later and do them. I really don't mind. Take all the time you need. So we should experiment with that, I guess. Standing still, there are no more stickers to collect. There's kind of nothing else to do here. Alright, so let's jump into this. I know we're gonna go a little late, but let's see what this does. And locking up as it's trying to load. Alright. Yeah, this seems like it's just do the level a second time.
Look at mess. This is terrible. Someone turn on all. Was it you? Sharp little hat kid if you close off.
Like, why would I want to? Like, why would I want to do the level twice? Like, in all seriousness, this is a level of insanity to do them back to back. But even if I wasn't doing it back to back, it's a level of insanity. This was one of the worst levels I've done, and the only thing I can figure is maybe there's a contract that I could do in this where you're supposed to get in the water or dive. Or do something else. I'm not really sure. Like, clearly there's something you're supposed to do with this water, but unless it was something crazy like this. Or something like this, or something like this. That's just a sprint hat. It's much hotter than usual. Cool yourself off is like the only hint I see here. Yeah, I just don't see I don't see myself trying to do that specific contract, and it seems so strange that that's the first contract that they're going to ask you to do. Alright, so we need to give it some thought here. We need to think about what do I want to do and what do I not want to do. And I think, let's see, what day are we on? Day 22? Let's see, I beat him up and now he just wants me to go away, but he also can't make me, so whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good English. Alright, so that was chapter 3. We did the final of chapter 2. We did the final of chapter 3. We need to focus in and do the final of chapter 1, which is weird that we're doing this out of order, I know, but I guess that's how that will. And that will probably like get us to 30 of the possible 40 timepieces. Hat wise, there is a decent chance that there is yet another ability hat, something that makes you jump higher, I suspect, out there. Item wise, there's another area clearly that this relic goes on, but there may not be any more relics that are collectible at all. And rift tokens, I imagine there's a collection of those. These color palettes, I think there's probably a lot more of those still out there. Music remixes, I bet there's a lot more of those still around. Badge wise, we know of at least 2 more badges, but I wouldn't be surprised if there really was only like 12 in total. This ability, probably not as useful as the magnetic ability by default. Weapon wise, we still don't seem like we're ever gonna have a different weapon. It'd be really crazy if at like the final battle we got a different weapon that then I guess maybe you could use for the rest of the game. Sticker wise, I think there's a kind of non-stop cavalcade of these stickers, particularly in the DLC section. So we'll still try to do the other DLC. This DLC, I don't think so. Like that they have gated it in such a way that I just don't think I'd ever want to go through that frustration. Maybe if I just did one of those things, then that would unlock a contract over here. There is something wrong here with the count also though. If there's 114 collectibles and there's only 3 here, so that's 3, then let's assume there's 3 here, that would be 6, then that would be 9. That would be 12, that'd be 15, that'd be 18. That doesn't make any sense. So where are the rest of the challenges? What it probably boils down to is you would just continuously unlock more and more challenges. Either that or you get like 25 of this currency every time you beat a challenge, and I don't know why you would do that. Like why it wouldn't just be one per challenge to make it more simpler to understand. So assuming that you only get 3, which is what it seems to imply with that 0-3, then that seems to imply that every single level is going to have a even more challenging version of that level. And that's something Mario 64 could have done, and maybe even I don't think the Mario 3DS remake did anything like that though. And then it's probably a very smart move that they didn't decide to do that, because that would have been very, very frustrating for younger players and people who had already gone through the extra effort. Remember, in Mario 64, they have you collect about 60 stars, and that's all you think you need. And then when you try to defeat the boss, you need to collect a lot more, and I think you pretty much need to collect all 120 to actually beat the game. That being said, I don't feel like it took 60 hours to actually get all 120 stars in Mario 64, where we're approaching, I feel like we're approaching close to 15 hours in this game, and I'm still 12 timepieces short of the 40 that they said. If they came back and said there was 80, which effectively the Death Wish DLC seems like that's what that is, it's just asking way too much. And honestly, I don't think people were that excited with the Hat in Time. People liked it, certainly, but nowadays in modern time, you play a game for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2, and then you move on. You don't get DLC that makes it more difficult and tells you to play the game the second time over. Very rarely have I run into any game that I've wanted to play more than once in the past couple decades. Anyways, we're going long. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.